Hey guys, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to do an update for my Pan That Palette 2018. But before we get into the update, I'm going to ask, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, and if you like Pan That Palette videos, please go ahead and give this one a thumbs up. And now let's get into the makeup. So just a reminder, I am working on my Urban Decay Ammo palette for this year, and now let me go ahead and show you what the palette looked like last time I did an update, and then I'll show you what it looks like now. And then here is what the palette looks like now. So there's definitely been a few changes since the last time I did an update. I will just go through shade by shade here. First shade here is Smog. I was able to expand the pan on that a little bit, not as much as I would have liked, unfortunately. And honestly, I'm getting a little bit nervous as to if I'm actually going to be able to finish this shade by the end of the year. There for a long time, I was really confident that there was going to be no issue with me finishing this one off. But I don't know, now that we're getting kind of closer to September and it's going to be, the real big push for the end of the year with the Pan That palette, I'm thinking maybe I won't even finish it. And if I do, I think it'll take me almost all the way up till the end of the year. This shade in the last month in particular has just gone nowhere, I feel. I've used it quite a few times. It just really doesn't look like I've used it that much at all. So I'm really getting nervous that that one's not going to be gone by the end of the year. That was definitely one that I wanted to completely finish out of this palette, but we'll just see. Of course, I'll just continue to use it. As far as Mildew goes then, the green shade, I don't think I touched that more than once than this last month, so there isn't going to be very much change. Oil Slick here, the black, I'm just continuing to use that mostly as a liner. A few times I have put that in my outer V to deepen that up a little bit. So I think you see a little bit of change, but that one is really, really densely packed, so you're not going to see a huge change in that one. But you will see a big change in these two right here on the end. We've got Last Call, the purple, and then Chopper here, the goldish shade. I have pan on both of those now, which is really exciting until you realize that both of those are down here in this pan here, which was Sin, which I finished up a few months ago. One of you guys had actually suggested that I mix these two together, and that was an amazing suggestion, so thank you so much. You might recall from my previous updates that I was really having a hard time with Chopper. It's just not a very easy shade to work with. I don't know, it's very chunky and it wasn't very pigmented, not much picked up with the brush, so I was wetting it all the time. I was having a really hard time with it, but I really wanted to hit pan on it. Someone suggested that I mix those two together, and I love the look. It's actually the color that I've got all over my eyes today, this one down here. I will be honest, it's not that much easier to work with than when it was just Chopper by itself. It's maybe slightly easier to work with, and it's a really pretty color, so I'm having fun playing with that. So I've decided that I'm not really going to be focusing on either of those now because there is pan showing. I'm just going to be focusing then on the Franken shade of those two colors, and hopefully I will be able to finish that off in the next month or two. Moving right along down here to the light purple shade called Grifter. I don't know that I used that at all since the last update. I'm pretty sure in that last update video I was actually wearing this color all over my lid, and it's really pretty, but it is really hard to work with, and I just haven't been reaching for that because I also did get the Kathleen Light's new palette, so I've been playing with that a little bit. So I was not exclusively using this palette the last month or so since I did the update, but I have mainly focused on this one, but I have been playing with a couple of other little things here and there. And then very, very exciting, I actually finished off Polyester Bride today. That was my inner corner highlight. I also used it as a brow bone highlight. It was a Franken shade between the original Polyester Bride that was in the palette and a Tarte shade that I used to tone it down a little bit because it was just a very stark white shade, so I made it more of a champagne-y kind of color. Really excited that that is gone. I did like it after I Franken shaded it, but happy to get that one out of my collection. And then Shattered here, the blue, definitely have not touched that one at all. And then the last shade here, Maui Wowie, I haven't touched that one either because I've been focusing on this one all over my lid. When I finish this one, I might go back to this one for a little bit, but I've also got some other ones in my collection that I would love to get started on. So I don't know if I'll really go back to this one very much before the end of the year when I'm going to be done with this palette. I hit pan on it and I think I'm good with that. And then as far as goals go for this palette for the next update, I would like to hit one of the sides here in Smog. And then really the only other kind of goal that I think I'm going to set for myself is just to use this one up as much as possible. I'd like to say maybe I'll have at least half of what's in here gone by the next update. And then quickly, let's talk about my Z palette here. I've got two shadows that I'm working on, my all over base shade and my transition shade. So let me go ahead and show you what they look like last time, and then I'll show you what they look like now. So it's just these two shades that I'm focusing on. So I'm super excited that both of these are just about finished. Had I waited a couple of days to make this video, they probably would both be gone, but I have time today, so I'm going to go ahead and make it. This one is M530 from Makeup Forever, and I did Frankenshade this one a little bit with a color from my Lorac Pro 2 that was very similar. I just really wanted to change the texture of this shadow because I really didn't like it how it was originally. It was just very stiff, hard to blend, and Lorac shadows are very soft and very easy to blend. So definitely this one will be gone by the next update. I think I might go ahead and repress this just to make it a little bit easier on myself, but I really think I maybe have 4 or 5 more uses out of that, and that should be gone. And then my transition shade here is one from the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. I can never remember the name, Salted Caramel maybe. But I've got just a tiny little bit in the corner here. I'm thinking maybe 2 or 3 times, and this one should be completely gone. And then I do want to bring in one more shadow. I've actually had this in my Z palette for a while, but I've been ignoring it because I've been working on the highlighting shade in the Urban Decay palette. But since I finished that one, I think I'm going to go ahead and start working on this one a little bit. This one is from the Smashbox On the Rocks palette. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but I have the smaller of the 2 palettes that they came out with that were both called On the Rocks. So this is from there. I do really like this shade. I was using it for a while last year, I think, the very end of last year, and I do have pan on it, which is awesome. So I would love to go ahead and finish this off by the end of the year if I can. If not, there's definitely going to be a lot of progress on there, which is great. So I will continue to update you guys on that one now from now on in these updates. So that is everything for my Pan That Palette update. Thank you guys so much for watching today and hanging out with me for a little bit. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. We can also connect on Instagram. I will have that linked down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!